Yo, what up fam, it's Phantom. Welcome back to another Pokemon Blaze Online video. In this video, we are going to be going over the good, the bad, and the ugly for Pokemon Blaze Online. This is my first impressions video. This isn't a full review. I will be doing a full review once I get to the end game. I am not quite there yet. I've gotten to about the 4th gym so far, but I do feel like I've gotten to a point in the game where I feel like I can give you my honest opinion about what I like and what I don't like, and I wanted to go over that with you guys. Before we get into it, if you guys do like this video, make sure you hit the like button, and if you want to see more content of Pokemon Blaze Online, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Let's just jump right into it. The good. One thing that's really encouraging and truly great about this game is how amazing and passionate the team behind the game is, including and especially the owner, Snakes, who wants this game to truly be the best Pokemon MMO. In my opinion, yeah, it's not there yet, but it definitely has a solid ground to get there, and the team really wants to it really seems like they want to make this truly an amazing game, and that's really exciting, and they communicate with their audience. That is so important. If you've seen any of my videos on Pokemon Planet, you'll know how frustrated I can be as a player of a game to not be communicated to by developers and have people let you know what's coming and what's happening to the game. It's really encouraging that it seems like that's not the case here. They really want to be talking to the community and really interacting, especially in their Discord, which is really cool, and I think that is really exciting for the future of the game because they'll listen to our feedback. Another really solid thing about the game is the fact that it has really good graphics. I'm really impressed with the graphics in this game. I know the animations aren't the greatest, and they can definitely come further with that, and I think that can come with time. But overall, just the overworld and walking around and things is really cool, and I think the graphics are pretty solid. And finally, I think what is really truly the most important thing about this is they've got an incredible base to build off of. I think they've built a great game that has some issues that we're going to go over here shortly, but I think that for the most part it's a good game that they can really build and make the best Pokemon MMO. They have a very good opportunity because they built a solid base to start with, and that's really good and really encouraging for the future of this game, because everything else comes with time, and they don't have a bad product to start and have to make it good. They've got a good product that they just need to make better. The bad. So I'm first going to start with some small things, and then we'll get into the larger things as we go on and add to that list. But one of the things right off the bat is daily objectives are always the same. I think that's a little frustrating. I thought the daily objectives were going to be different every day, and there was going to be different things to do to encourage us to do different things inside of the game and get us connected to each other. But as of now, it is the exact same daily objectives every single time you come on, and that's not the greatest, and I hope they update that in the future and maybe even add weeklies and monthlies possibly down the line. But as of now, there's dailies and it's all the same, and I hope that the developer continues to update that. I think dailies could be really good to have community come together and say, hey, daily, you have to go to this route and fish for this Pokemon, and when you catch it, you get done with your daily and you get this reward. Something very specific that people will have to do together, or at least in the same area, so it feels more like a Pokemon MMO and not just Pokemon with multiplayer tacked on, which I do think this game does a good job with community-wise. But to add more to that, the daily objectives could really help that, maybe even weekly or monthly objectives to help along with that as well. This one is small, and I recognize it's a little... it's nitpicky, but I'll explain. Let me just say what it is. So the Battle Pass doesn't reward you with items every single level. There's 50 items on the Battle Pass, and at the very end you get a Togekiss mount, which I still need to work toward, but that's really cool. I love Battle Passes. I've always thought Battle Passes are an amazing way to monetize a game because it rewards people who also play for free, but also get to buy it with those that are able to, and it makes it more exciting for people to be able to buy the Battle Pass, and I just really have always enjoyed Battle Passes in games, and I typically go toward those monetization. I'm a player that typically doesn't spend money on video games. If they're free to play, I typically stay free to play, but when there's a Battle Pass, it's impossible for me not to buy it because it's just really solidly done and a really solid way to monetize a game. But right now, the Battle Pass, it doesn't reward every level. There's levels where you'll go from like level 2 through 4 without ever getting anything, and then you get an item at level 5, and it's like, I would rather have the exact same time it takes to get to the final mount of the Togekiss mount, just less levels, so it feels like every time I do get a level, I get rewarded for it. There are enough things that you could probably add to the Battle Pass where you don't even need to do that. You could probably fit in smaller rewards, even just something like Pokeballs or Great Balls, in between the levels, so it just feels like you're getting something for every level. I think for at least the paid Battle Pass needs to have something every single level, even if that means there's less levels and it takes just as long to get there. Just make it not feel bad to get a level and you get nothing for it. It just feels, I don't know, it just doesn't feel very good. And I understand that's a little nitpicky, but it's just something small that I think just looks wise and feeling wise, it'll be a lot better if you just add everything to the Battle Pass and there's something slotted into every level. I think that'd be really helpful, at least on the paid and preferably even on the free track, but I understand if you wouldn't want to do it that way. It gives you more incentive to do the paid track, so I understand it in that regard. Now, as we move on to the little larger things, I did want to mention the graphics again. I think the overworld graphics is pretty solid, but the things that I would like fixed in regards to the overworld is, first, allow our Pokemon to follow us when we're running or when we're on our bike. Right now, if you're on a mount or on a bike, your Pokemon, or if you're even using the running shoes, your Pokemon don't follow behind you. So there are very few people with their Pokemon actually following behind them, which isn't as exciting. The whole point of that feature should be moved to also the mounts. I don't know how difficult of a change that is. I hope it's not too terribly hard, but I do hope to find us being able to ride our mounts or use our running shoes while also still seeing our Pokemon behind us, because since it's not nearly as efficient to walk, most people are not going to be doing that and keeping their Pokemon out. So you rarely see Pokemon next to people because they're either using the running shoes or on a mount. And then in regards to the mounts, especially the bike mount, when you get on the bike, it gives you its own skin. I hope that in the future we can make it to where we can use we can buy skins or whatever, however we want to do that, or decorations or something, and we still are able to see that on our character when we're riding our mounts or when we are riding our bikes. Right now, we have to all wear the same thing, which isn't very fun. So I hope that starts to get changed to where we can add our decorations, add our skins, add our Pokemon riding behind us as we keep going. I think that'll really help the game, and it'll make it feel more like a Pokemon game when we're walking around and see other Pokemon. Another thing is a level scaling in the region seems quite a bit off right now, and I don't know I've not gotten terribly far in the game, so I can't confirm this, but I have watched videos from people like Dante, and I've heard from people on my community talk about it, where there's kind of walls, and there's a hard wall when you get to the third gym. So the first and second gym are pretty easy. They're not difficult, even regardless of who you start with. Typically, you can get through those pretty easily. But then the third gym hits you like a literal wall, and you get just stuck in place, and it doesn't feel very good. I don't mind walls for the most part. It makes you grind and go for a while, and that's fine, but I think that it seems to be somewhat inconsistent. There's a large wall in the third gym, then what seems like the fourth gym's pretty easy, fifth gym is another large wall, then sixth, seventh, eighth gym are easy. It just seems a little all over the place, so maybe nerf the third gym a little bit, nerf the fifth gym, and then maybe buff the others to bring it up. I know Dante talked about this in his video, so I am going to link Dante's video in the description. Go check it out. He does have some thoughts. I don't necessarily agree with all of his thoughts on the game or how to make it better, but I do think that he makes some great points in regards to scaling, and I definitely think for sure that is something that could easily be fixed, but it is a little larger thing, as it is it's not as simple as just adding one little thing to the game. So I think that level scaling in the region could be a little better. So these next two kind of go hand in hand. There's a lack of Pokemon diversity throughout the playthrough, and I think partially or mostly the reason why that would be is because it follows Sinnoh too closely. Right now, it seems like I'm just playing Diamond, Pearl, Platinum with the Pokemon that I'm finding, and then there's occasionally swarms I can go to and some other things, but it just follows those games a little too closely, so it doesn't feel like there's much diversity in the Pokemon that we can catch. I know people are talking about like, oh, I'm gonna make this team, I'm gonna make this team, I'm gonna make this team, and they're all kind of the same because there's not very many Pokemon to choose from. So I think that this is probably going to come as the game gets fleshed out more, we get more regions, but I think that more Pokemon need to kind of be added to the pool right now, because it seems very limited in the Pokemon that we can catch. There are some cool ones. They definitely added some cool Pokemon throughout the regions, and they're usually like the ultra rare Pokemon, so there are kind of harder to find, which is totally okay. But I think there could be a little bit more diversity in the Pokemon that we're seeing so far. It seems very samey, but I definitely don't think that it's too large of a problem, because I think that this can be edited and can change and can be better as the game comes on, and as we get more regions, it's going to help as well. But right now, it just seems like there's not enough Pokemon to go around to really make this good. The ugly. All right, this last one we are going to spend a decent amount of time on, because I think people may not realize how damaging, in my opinion, this is to the game. But the PP on your moves does not replenish after battle. So as of now, if I get into a battle and I use something like Water Gun, and there's 25 Water Guns, I then go down to 24, and then when I start a new battle, a lot of the Pokemon MMOs, I think most actually, give you that PP back. It just replenishes the PP, and it makes it to where you can continue to grind in an area and not have to leave. As of now, that's not the case in this Pokemon MMO, and I think it feels much worse for a couple reasons. So let's go over why I think this is so damaging for the game, and why it's an easy fix that I really think that needs to happen as soon as possible. So as of now, you may be like, oh well, Phantom, the regular Pokemon games don't have it to where you can replenish your PP after battle. That's the whole point of them. Well, I think PP should stay in the game, obviously, because I think it's needed for PvP. But in the normal Pokemon games, or any of the Pokemon MMOs that don't have this, one of the things, and the biggest reason why it doesn't feel as bad, is because those battles take quite a bit longer. When I'm playing a normal Pokemon game, the encounter rate is it is significantly slower and significantly not harder, but slower and more time consuming on the normal games, whereas this game, the encounter rate is super fast, and that feels great. It feels wonderful that the encounter rate is so fast. But since we run out of PP, we run out of it really quickly, so it feels really bad, because you'll sit there and train a Pokemon and they'll run out of PP, and then you got to go back to a Pokemon Center every single time. So you're going back to the Pokemon Center every 5 minutes when you're trying to grind out Pokemon, and it just doesn't feel good. It feels like I'm spending probably 80% of the time playing the game and 20% of the time going back to the Pokemon Center, and that just doesn't feel good. Right now, it's the point where, like, I don't even want to log on often. Like, when I'm on my phone and I'm with my wife hanging out, we're just chilling on the couch, I would love to pull the game out, grind back and forth for a few levels. But right now, I'm like, I grind back and forth, I run out of PP, and I'm just like, man, I don't know if I want to go back to the Pokemon Center. And it's kind of harder to control. Don't get me wrong, the mobile client is fantastic, but it's a little harder to control on phone, obviously. And it's just like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. And even in my tips video, I go over, it's best to just let yourself faint to get back to the Pokemon Center, so you save yourself a one-way walk to the Pokemon Center. I mean, that just doesn't feel very good. So I think that this desperately needs to be changed as soon as possible. Even if they wanted to change it to where the encounter rate gets even higher and it's harder to find Pokemon, and it takes even longer to level up, just to compensate for the time that you would go back to the Pokemon Center to make it exactly equal, that I would be okay with that compromise. I think also there's supposed to be like these aroma girls around the map, and I've not seen any as of now, or at least I actually have seen one and talked to her, and she doesn't heal my Pokemon. I don't know if that's either not working right now, or if there's only a few that are in the game, but it still kind of feels bad if that was the solution of having an aroma girl on every few maps, because right now the best way to play the game right now is to go to an area that is really close to a Pokemon Center, so you don't go to these farther away areas, because it takes too long to bike all the way back. So you really want to grind in an area that's near a Pokemon Center, and that's just not very fun. I think that if we replenished PP after every battle, it would make it to where you could really grind wherever you want and wouldn't have to worry about going to the Pokemon Center all the time. And even if you want to slow the game down a bit to make up for that change, not in regards to obviously the encounters, but like the encounter rate or the amount of XP, if you wanted to do that to compensate because you scaled it based on going back to the Pokemon Center so often, that would be a way to do it. I don't think you need to. I don't think it's going to hurt the game to just automatically replenish, but I think that if I want to sit down and grind, spending 20% of that grind just going back and forth for the Pokemon Center just doesn't feel good. So in my opinion, that is a big ugly, and it's really the only one I have a big problem with in this game. I think if that gets changed, and I think it's not a hard change to make, then that could make the game significantly better just with that change.
In conclusion,
so overall, this is a good Pokemon MMO. It's a pretty good one. I know we were just talking about the bad and the ugly toward the end, but overall, I do enjoy this game, and I'm excited to get to the end game to see what it has to offer. And I've heard about a few things, and we'll go over that in my full review. So make sure you guys are subbed so you can watch the full review. But as of now, I would give the game a 6 out of 10. I think the game has a lot of potential, but as of now, it's just fallen a little short, and it's got a little bit more to come to. But as of now, I do enjoy the game. It just has some things to work on. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more content. I'm gonna head out. I'll see you next time.